Hey everybody, it's Joe from greenlightsound.com, and today we've got another drum mixing tip courtesy of Michael Brauer, and this one's all about mixing drum overheads and really trying to thicken them up and warm them up and soften the cymbals a little bit using a plugin from Universal Audio, and that is the Empirical Labs EL7 Fatso Jr., which is basically like a compression and tape saturation plugin that thickens up signals really nicely. And this does a nice job of softening any really spiky, harsh transients you might have in cymbal parts, because sometimes overheads aren't really that well mic'd and they can be kind of nasty sounding or abrasive sounding in that upper register, and this really helps soften that a little bit. So let's dive right into Michael Brauer's setup of this plugin. First of all, you've got the input set at 6 and the output set at 5. Now those two settings can be adjusted a little bit depending on the compression we're looking for. I can tell you right now that this is not going to be level matched. That's going to be a much hotter output than we want. So the first thing we'll do is dial back that output once we start processing this signal. We've got both of these little LED lights lit up, the bus and GP tracking and comp. We have our warmth set to 3. We've got the transformer engaged right here. And what we're really looking for is about 7 dB of compression. So the LEDs somewhere in the yellow range, maybe bump it into the orange a little bit, but somewhere in there with your gain reduction. The left and right side of this plugin are linked. They're the exact same thing. So you can really just look at the settings right on this side, and that's what we're going for overheads. So the first thing we want to do is listen to this overhead track without the Fatso engaged. So the only other processing I have going on the overhead channel is auto align, which doesn't affect the signal by itself. And I've got track control from DMG Audio that just flips the left and right sides of the overheads because I prefer the sound that way from the drummer's perspective. And then a little bit of EQ, where I'm just carving out the bottom end, dipping some of the mids and boosting the top end a bit, but no compression. Fatso Jr. bypass. Here's what the overheads sound like without that Fatso Jr. in. Now, if I engage the Fatso, it's going to be much too loud. So I want to bring down that output a bit to level match. And I'm going to bring down the input just a hair because I'm getting a little bit too much compression out of it. Remember, we're really going for sort of the middle range of compression here, about 7 dB of gain reduction. And you can hear how the cymbals go from being a little bit harsh to this softer sort of wash sound. As opposed to this without this plugin on. All the transients just a little bit harsher, a little bit spikier. Once more with the Fatso engaged. So really simple tip, really simple plugin to set up. Fatso Jr. on drum overheads, courtesy of Michael Brauer. If you have any questions or comments, let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, so we can keep you in the loop as to what's coming up next, and I'll see you in the next one.